Hey, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you guys across the world and especially in Korea. A little bit about myself, 20 years of doing content in the country and in the Asia Pacific region. I've worked across Star TV, ran all their channels in India, worked across so many entertainment television, done a bunch of international channels with CBS, RTL, and then led Z5 for the last few years in the country. I now run investments in AI-led content curation platforms, content creation platforms, and that's really been my journey. Great questions from some of you guys. The first one, what is really the key strategy for surviving the OTT platform war in India? The one big key of surviving the OTT war in India is really user centricity. The platforms that have done very, very well in India, which is Netflix, Amazon, Disney Hotstar, Z5, Sony Live, have understood the audiences and their core and have also positioned themselves very, very clearly. So if you look at Netflix, they've positioned themselves around young male audiences and young women audiences. They've also positioned themselves around Hollywood content clearly. Amazon has positioned themselves around the middle India, the male audiences, the mass audiences, and largely Indian and Hindi big marquee series. Disney Hotstar has positioned themselves around cricket, and they have some of the best cricket series in the country, and other sports franchises. So has Sony Live. And Z5 is really the big mass platform which actually does the length and breadth of both regional content as well as other Indian language content in India. Now, talking about the pandemic and what has the pandemic done to the OTT game in India. Pandemic really changed the way people looked at OTT. So before the pandemic, OTT was an addition to broadcast television, to linear television, but pandemic and also the change of broadband penetration that it brought along with that, the prices of smart TVs in the country, your ability to be able to have video on demand, and the amount of premium content that got created over the last 36 months led for people to make SWOD and premium content and OTT their first choice of consumption, or first choice of content, their first choice of even watching on TV over the last 18 months. And also because TV channels took a hiatus in their content and in their content creation, that gave OTT an even bigger hockey stick. So while I was at Z5 last year, and even after that, I've seen very clear growth that has been exponential for all OTT players, and especially in the premium side. The largest player in the country, Disney Hotstar, now has about 30 million paying subscribers in the country, which in itself is a very big landmark. What do I think are the reasons for K-pop's popularity in India? I think the kind of characters, the kind of dramas, the kind of storytelling, the kind of emotions that the Gen Z in this country, the young in the country can relate to. And it's also possibly, a fairy tale for the young in India to be able to watch and live their lives vicariously with that. Unfortunately, in India, our television as well as our OTT players have not invested in young dramas, teen dramas, romances, and have not built iconic characters. So that is why the Korean dramas have done so well. And also music. Korean music, K-pop music has done exceedingly well, primarily because, and we've seen that with BTS, primarily because they tugged the cord of liberation, they tugged the cord of connection with the Gen Z audiences. You also asked me, in the post-COVID era, the online platform market has grown rapidly. What changes have occurred? The one big change that has occurred in the business is that people have gone to watch OTT as their secondary choice to becoming their primary choice. And then they've also made sure that they now watch OTT on televisions rather than on the mobile. So India was a large mobile consumption country where most video was consumed on mobile. But today, video is being consumed on television. Television manufacturers have made sure that prices are really, really cheap. broadband is available, and also all OTT players have made sure that they've now made apps for every single TV manufacturer, whether it's LG, whether it's Samsung, whether it's Xiaomi, whether it's the Android TV ecosystem, whether it's the Linux ecosystem. And so all of us made sure that we had apps and great distribution on the smart TV ecosystem. So smart TV has grown beyond the mobile, broadband has grown, OTT has become the first choice of content consumption in the country, and VOD really across both premium as well as advertising led is now starting to become or replace linear television in India. I hope that's a little bit of an insight into what we do here. Happy to hear from you. Write to me anytime you want. I'm available on LinkedIn. Connect with me. And thank you again for having me here.